unbelievable.
We may not have talked about it, but it was really
I
good.
haven't watched that, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
It was actually based on a true story where the FBI started this.
Their BAU unit. It's their behavior analysis.
Yeah, behavior analysis unit. The FBI kind of started in the '60s where they tried to do behavior analysis for serial killers, because they really never called a serial killer a serial killer until these guys did this research. But I actually read the book on the actual FBI agent. Great book. It was awesome. I love reading books about serial killers, and it was so cool when that book came out. I mean, the Netflix series came out, titled the same as the book, and it was a pretty good series. The book's always better, but it was really neat how they would interview. They would interview like mass murderers. I'm trying to think of some of the mass murders. It's escaping me, but some of the names.
Manson was the one they kept wanting to see, but the other guys I had heard of, but I didn't know anything about.
Yes, it wasn't John. I don't think they ever talked to John Wayne Gacy, but that might be later. But there was a couple guys out in California that they analyzed and they interviewed. One guy was killing like college girls. It's not Bundy. It was a guy in California whose mom was a professor or worked at a college, and he would actually, the mom treated him really badly, and he would actually rape and kill some of the co-ed girls in the local, some of the co-ed girls in the local college. So he was really, gosh, I can't think of the name. I feel horrible about it because it's a great series, and it was really good.
I spent all day watching this today called Aquarius.
Oh, yeah.
With David Duchovny.
Yeah.
That is about Manson.
Aquarius is awesome.
It's unbelievable.
I love that.
Like I literally spent all day.
Yes, Aquarius is
I believe you.
Until I took a shower to come here, I literally spent all day.
Yeah, Aquarius is outstanding. David Duchovny, he is awesome in it. I was used to him in Californication. You ever seen Californication?
No.
Totally different character. I mean, he still drinks. He's an alcoholic. He's a functional alcoholic.
He drinks like it's going out of style.
Yeah, and he does in Californication too. But he does everything in Californication.
He's a writer in Californication. It's funny.
That's a great series. I love that series. And Aquarius, I think they're probably going to have another season because I don't think they ever ended it.
No.
So, but I will tell you, that's one thing I hate to go back to one we already talked about, but Godless, it actually ended. It was refreshing.
It's only one season.
It was awesome. They actually ended a series. And I'm not saying I mean, I just think you can't, some series you don't need to go any further, and I was proud of them. They cut the money off, they're done. They don't have to make more money.
Can you believe about House of Cards, though?
I haven't seen House of Cards.
Gone.
Is it gone?
Because Kevin Spacey.
Just took off?
Well, the allegations that supposedly for him.
I didn't know. Is it Me Too again with sexual harassment? Was he in trouble?
Yeah.
And so they've canceled the rest of the series.
Dang, I can't keep track of all the sexual harassment.
Too many.
I can't. There's so much.
I think it was a boy.
Yeah, it was like when he was 14 or something, or 18 or something like that.
We can turn the topic. How many have sexual harassed here? No, we're not going to talk about it.
I'm not talking about my past.
I know. We're not going to do that.
I've got to wait 15
AJ
years
goes,
to talk
me
about it.
too.
Hey, those clubs in Wilmington, man, they
I
can get a
am
little bit
telling
crazy.
you, I have reverse sexual harassment happen to me at Channel 13 in Indianapolis.
Well, how many, hold up. How many years ago was it?
It was a lot of years ago. But
How many?
It was in
You were over.
I worked at Channel 13 in 1996.
Okay, hold up. That's about 21 years ago. You might be right. This might be the time to come out.
After 20 years, limit statutations is gone.
I'm a tape operator.
You waited long enough. You dealt with this, Ian. You kept this inside for 21 years. I think it's time that you come forward with all the mistreatment of you.
And I hope I don't shed tears here. I don't want to shed tears here, but I lived through it. And you would live through it too, if you know what I mean. There you go. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I'm in the engineering production room, so to speak, at Channel 13 WTHR Indianapolis. I don't think I'll get sued for this. I don't know. But I'm sitting here. I'm making tapes, and I got to make these bumps. We called it in the business. You bump for the newscast. You got to put these little 30-second segments of Bob Gregory's tease for the weather that night. So
hey, don't mess it up, man.
Yeah. So
you better not be messing up Bob Gregory.
Well, we'll talk about that because they cussed me out. Bob Gregory cussed me out.
No, Bob Gregory did not.
Yes, he did.
He's a sweet old man.
You guys all think Bob Gregory's all sweet.
He's a sweet old man.
But he cussed me out. behind the scenes. So I'm setting these commercials up. I'm putting them in the tape. And was I talking about sexual harassment?
Yes,
I don't know where I'm going.
please.
Yeah, we'll go away from Bob Gregory cussing.
Yeah, I don't care about Bob Gregory. I want to hear about your sexual harassment.
You're throwing a meteorologist terms and while he was cussing you out.
So basically,
The front's coming in on you.
I've read that one thing. I was getting the tape. I'm the one who can edit and get the tapes ready for, the sportscasters, the weather, and the journalists. We're not supposed to make resume tapes for the talent they call the anchors. Okay, well, this weekend, lady was probably in her mid-20s. She was wanting to get to New York and wanting to go to a bigger market. Because in Indy, you're in a mid-market.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, it was really mid-market.
Yeah.
So she's wanting to move up the ladder, so to speak. I can't remember her name, but
That's probably a good thing.
she got behind me,
Hey.
started rubbing my shoulders, and said, "Hey, Ian, or 41 Job,
We're past that.
can you make a resume tape for me?" And she's rubbing my shoulders, and I just got the job, so I'm like thinking, I don't want to lose this job. It was a crap job. I should have forgot about the job. But she was rubbing my shoulders. Good. Can you make a resume tape for me, please? And I knew it wasn't. I'm not stupid. I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, and I didn't make it. And she was disappointed, but then she went off to another market on her own, and there she goes. And 6 months later, I quit anyway, so whatever. I only lasted 6 weeks there. Softball really was probably the problem. And other issues we're not going to talk about on here.
Softball.
And not on the 41 Jobs podcast. But that was a short-lived job. And then that's why it's 41 Jobs. It's one of my many, many jobs. I actually worked at the warehouse during that time that the Menendez brothers, who killed their parents, they owned that warehouse. I worked there part-time.
In California?
But they owned a warehouse in Indianapolis.
Really?
It was called Handelman Warehouse. See, those are good. We can talk about that. I'm way off track here. Sorry. But it's all good. But Handelman was a warehouse where the Menendez brothers owned, but I don't know how I got on that. I also worked 8 hours for McDonald's, and I worked there while I was working at Channel 13. And then Bob McLean from Channel 6 Weather, he comes in and orders a burger. And I'm like thinking, I'm working at Channel 13 and working part-time at McDonald's. What am I doing here? I quit on the spot. I left. Saw Bob McLean, I quit. I don't know why. I just
41.
Yes. And one year I had 7 W-2s.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was 97. I had 7 W-2s. Couldn't make a decision. Couldn't stick with anything. How did we get on this? Was it sexual harassment?
Sexual harassment.
I really could
us all the way to McDonald's.
I could have claimed it, but I didn't.
My guess is Matt Lauer may have gotten let go for a little bit less than you.
Have you been sexually harassed? I mean, that you would consider, like, men probably haven't considered sexual harassment kind of like what women consider. Like, if we get sexual harassment, isn't it welcome? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're offended.
Hey, as long as they're hot, no.
Yeah.
It's not,
See, I think if they're hot,
hey,
you're not
if they're
offended.
not hot, then it's harassment.
Yeah, they're not. You're not offended.
I don't know.
But, now, you guys are going to think I'm an ultra-liberal, but after that Matt Lauer thing,
Oh, God.
I was kind of surprised I got more detail on it. But the crazy thing is, I'm all good for that, and I guess back then women were afraid to say anything. Especially in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. My father-in-law said every man he knew that he golfed with would smack every waitress in the butt at the restaurants and the diners. His buddies would. And it was accepted. I mean, I don't think anybody accept that this day. I don't think anybody should.
That's the thing. What is acceptable now in 2017 and what was acceptable in 1967 is different. Now, how can you hold somebody to a standard in 2017 that was acceptable in 1967 and spank them for it? That's not right.
I know.
Societal norm was, so don't give me that.
I know.
I hear you.
I know, and it's crazy because
I want to go back to 1960, by the way.
I know, yeah. And the woman that was with Matt Lauer, the thing is, she blew the whistle on him, but she let him do what he did. I mean, he got undressed, and she felt she had no power.
It was
and
consensual
she did it anyway.
harassment.
Yes.
She did it anyway. But then I'm like thinking maybe you should just know that it was wrong and you feel bad about it, but don't. I'm not saying Matt Lauer's not a bad dude. He probably is.
What about Louis C.K.?
But she probably shouldn't have done it. I mean, she probably shouldn't have allowed it to happen. She should have walked out and said, this crazy mother effer is naked.
Yeah.
Walk out. Instead of, she did it. She let him do it.
You know,
Yeah, it's because they're fearful of their jobs.
And I understand that. And
that's the power part.
And big anchors and big talent
you
back
didn't want to
then.
piss them off.
Yeah, you were done.
You were done.
They were like, oh, get out of here. We got to have this guy.
Well, it's
and I
the Louis
understand
C.K.
that.
thing, too.
I understand
Comedians were trying to make him big. They were scared to death to tell him no.
there's 4 men sitting at this table.
Yeah.
Have any of you 3 never had a woman tell you no?
Yes.
And no matter what stage, no matter what stage of the sexual action that was going on, what did you do? You know, I've had a woman bare ass, butt naked, and she said no, and I got up and walked away because the bottom line is she says no. I don't care. I don't care. She said no.
Yeah, that's true. And
Because you got honor.
And you
got honor.
You got to respect.
You got
that.
honor.
It makes sense, you know. So it's amazing how much of that went on because all the stories we're hearing, it's crazy. That is it Weinstein? Is his name?
Yeah.
Woo, that's bad.
He's toast.
Uma Thurman was talking about it. I'm like, oh my god.
What was the other one from Charmed that was on there?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
She's the one that kind of started it all and said, I've
Okay.
had enough. What was her? Rose McGowan.
Okay.
Rose McGowan.
Okay.
She was basically the R word
Okay.
to keep her job.
Now back to streaming.
Hey,
Why
real
the?
quick, I feel like we're leaving a key person out of this conversation.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, let's not forget what Bobby Knight shared with Connie Chung back then.
Oh yes.
I mean, that just seems to be fitting right now.
Yes,
Hey,
If it's happening to you, might as well enjoy it.
exactly.
Oh my god.
Hey, and he coached at IU for 20 more years.
Yeah, I know.
How about that? I mean, seriously. Hey, no, the reason he had to leave was because he wanted somebody to call him coach instead of Knight.
I know.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
And I love the guy, but after hearing some of the crap, I could care less.
I mean, think about that. Hey, you can say what you want to about Connie Chung, Bobby, but heaven forbid you go after a couple kids.
I know.
I mean, that's crazy.
I know.
I mean,
And the stupid stuff he pulls now, I just really don't have any respect for him anymore. I used to.
I don't.
Used to.
I don't listen
Not
to
much anymore.
Hey, you didn't coach for Penn State.
he's just a cranky old
Yeah.
man.
Hey, they're going to have a movie.
Robert Paterno, really?
Yeah, Coach Paterno, there's a movie that Al Pacino's going to be.
That's almost fitting.
Al Pacino's going
That's
to
all.
be. I got to look it up and see what it
Hey,
is.
who's going to be the defensive coordinator is what I want to know.
Andy Dick.
Yeah.
I did hear an interview with him one time where he said he went to the airport and the guy who was going to drive whatever car he had, he just had A. Dick. He just showed up at the airport. I'm looking for A. Dick.
So the movie is, I'm trying to think what the movie is, but the Paterno movie, Joe Paterno is played by Al Pacino, and it's going to be in the 2018 releases. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm sure that hasn't been fit all.
Yeah, I don't. But I
Sure
know.
Penn State's real happy about that.
I'm sure they're.
Oh my God.
I'm sure they're pumped.
They finally got the football back to somewhere.
Oh my God.
But that's
overly
the thing. If you
disrespectful.
guys think about it, I'm not. I guess forgiving Paterno, but it's just like we said about sexual harassment in the 60s. I'm not saying it's acceptable, but Paterno was there for God knows how many years. They probably
41.
didn't fool with messing with that stuff. I mean, you don't. I guess nowadays
Until
you
he started
can't.
losing.
I know you can't accept.
Ironically.
I know you can't accept it now, but I mean, he grew up like. I don't know. He owned the place basically, and I don't know. Maybe you can't forgive him. You can't forgive him, but what I'm saying is, it was kind of easier for him to sweep it under the rug than it is now. I guess I don't know. What do you think?
Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you're in power, you can do as you please
Yeah.
until somebody catches you.
And